e que também vai contribuir para esse.
This is our destination today.
Bom, para
You see?
resumir a minha.
Yes, I'm now at the Korea-Brazil Business Forum. Brazil is a distant country located around 17,000 kilometers away from Korea. What comes to mind when you think of Brazil? The samba? The carnival? Bossa Nova? Soccer? Christ the Redeemer? If you look further, Korea and Brazil actually have a very special relationship. Brazil was the first country in Latin America to establish diplomatic relations with South Korea, and the first country that Koreans officially immigrated to. And now, Korea and Brazil are working to become closer economic partners. The Korea-Brazil Business Forum held today is already in its 13th year. One of the hosts for this forum is the Korea-Brazil Society. I was able to have a brief conversation with the president of the Korea-Brazil Society. He also served as former minister of the Embassy of the Republic of Korea in Brazil. The Korea-Brazil Society, or KOBRAS, is a private diplomatic organization established in 2011 to promote economic and cultural exchanges between Korea and Brazil. We can say that it is acting as a diplomat for exchanges between the two countries.
경제와 문화 두 트랙으로 일을 합니다. 문화에 또 중점을 두는 이유는 문화를 이해를 해야 양국 국민들 간의 이해를 도와서 경제 관계까지도 더 발전하는 데 도움이 되지 않을까. 그래서 투 트랙으로 일을 하고 있습니다.
네.
네.
그 올해로 이제 한국 브라질 비즈니스 포럼이 13회째를 맞았는데 소감을 짧게 부탁드릴게요.
지금 보셔서 알겠지만 한국 브라질 비즈니스 포럼의 발표 수준이 굉장히 높잖아요. 네. 벌써 브라질 발표자가 차관보가 둘이나 되고 외교부 장관이 기조연설을 하고
네.
금년 말이 아니라 작년, 재작년에도 통신부 장관이 기조연설을 하고 인프라부 장관이 기조연설을 하고 이제는 어느 정도 연륜이 쌓여서 브라질 내에서도 이 포럼에서 발표를 하고 싶어하는 사람들이 이제 많이 늘어났습니다.
네. I was able to meet the Brazilian ambassador before the start of the forum. We have to hear from the ambassador, right? I asked for an interview during the break after the first session.
Okay, Nori. Okay.
그럼 지금부터 결례식을 시작하겠습니다.
The Brazilian ambassador read the keynote speech of the Brazilian Minister of Foreign Affairs.
안녕하십니까?
Nós, países abriram comunidades econômicas de pesquisadores, empreendedores e inovadores que estão na vanguarda dos avanços tecnológicos. Ao nutrir laços mais próximos e promover a troca de perspectivas e conhecimentos, podemos criar um vínculo poderoso que nos impulsiona para a vanguarda da inovação global.
Now, I'm going to pay attention to what is being discussed at the forum.
브라질을 보면은 지금 성장률도 꾸준히 성장을 하고 있고 특히 코로나 이후에 브라질 경제가 잘 성장을 하고 있고 그래서 우리나라에서 이제 중남미를 바라볼 때 브라질하고 멕시코가 이제 큰 시장이기 때문에 가장 두 시장을 이제 중요하게 바라보고 있고 특히 우리나라는 미국과의 경제 관계가 중요하기 때문에 이제 미국과 경제가 묶여 있는 멕시코에 대한 논의가 조금 더 많이 나오는 것 같긴 하거든요. 근데 실제로 전 세계 투자를 보면 보면 멕시코보다는 브라질이 훨씬 더 투자를 많이 받고 있는 이제 그런 시장입니다. 최근에 우리나라가 브라질에 굉장히 기업들이 많은 관심을 가지고 있고 브라질 투자를 늘려가고 있습니다. 그래서 브라질의 내수가 살아나기 때문에 우리 기업들이 특히 브라질에 큰 관심을 가지고 이제 투자를 많이 늘려나가고 있는 이런 상황입니다.
I became curious during the forum. What kind of economic partners are Korea and Brazil? So, I did some research.
Brazil is a key economic partner for Korea in Latin America. Korea mainly exports finished products to Brazil and imports raw materials, so the trade structure between the two countries is complementary. Korea's main exports to Brazil include integrated circuit semiconductors, automobile parts, and synthetic resins, while its main imports include crude oil, iron ore, and feed. Looking at the trade volume between the two countries, it peaked at $18 billion in 2011 and then showed a declining trend. The trade volume, which had fallen below $10 billion, surpassed $10 billion again in 2021. Let's take a look at bilateral investment. Korea has been investing in Brazil since 1996. In 2023, Korean investment in Brazil reached a record high of $11.78 billion. In particular, between 2010 and 2013, when Brazil saw remarkable growth, Korean companies were entering Brazil actively. So far, about 100 Korean companies have entered Brazil, including Samsung Electronics, LG Electronics, and Hyundai Motor. Meanwhile, Korea and Brazil have been coordinating negotiations for the Southern Common Market, or Mercosur, since 2018, and are making steady efforts to promote economic cooperation and exchange, such as concluding the Trade and Investment Promotion Framework, or TIPF, in 2023.
Let me introduce the next speaker. It is the Deputy Minister of Brazil's Ministry of Development, Industry, Trade and Services.
Eu vou fazer uma breve apresentação sobre o programa e um dos principais programas do governo do presidente Lula e do vice-presidente e ministro Geraldo Alckmin, chamado A Nova Indústria Brasil, que tem a sigla NIB. É um programa que foi prometido pelo presidente Lula e pelo vice-presidente na campanha em 2022.
The new industrial policy for Brazil that the Deputy Minister mentioned, Nova Industria Brasil. This must be the key topic for today.
In January, the National Council for Industrial Development of Brazil announced a program called Nova Industria Brasil, or New Industry Brazil, NIB. This policy gives shape to President Lula's neo-industrialization policy and aims to create jobs and increase national income by strengthening Brazil's long-term industrial competitiveness. According to this policy, the Brazilian government plans to focus on fostering 6 key sectors from 2024 to 2033 to strengthen Brazil's industrial competitiveness. 1. Agribusiness. 2. The health industry. 3. Infrastructure, sanitation, housing and mobility. 4. Digital transformation. 5. Bioeconomy and energy transition. And 6. National defense.
This forum brought together scholars, entrepreneurs, and officials from Korea and Brazil. Some came to Korea to give presentations, while others attended via online from faraway Brazil. The presenters analyzed various data and gave their opinions on how Korea and Brazil can cooperate in the future in Brazil's new industry sector. It is time for a break. Now I'm going to talk to the ambassador about economic cooperation between Korea and Brazil. So, Ambassador, Nova Industria Brasil, I think it is one of the most important points at the forum, right?
Yes.
So, among the 6 key areas of these policies, which area do you most anticipate cooperation with Korea in?
That is a good question because the 6 areas, I think, are propitious for cooperation with Korea in very different ways. Because New Industry Brazil, Nova Indústria Brasil, is a 6-axe program that includes from reinforcing agribusiness production and the agricultural equipment production. This is an area where we already have the presence of a company, a Korean company in Brazil. Hyundai Heavy Industries they are doing exactly that. We have the area of the mission on decarbonization of the economy, where we are probably going to be one of the biggest potentials in the world for generation of green energies. This is another area where we can cooperate with you in 2 ways. You can provide equipment, and you can bring investment to benefit from the very low carbon footprint of Brazilian production. As you know, the Brazilian electricity is 85% renewable. We can also cooperate in the pharmaceutical, what they call the economic complex of health. That includes equipment, and that includes also medicine, that includes also biosimilars. You know that Korea has this very impressive industry, both on the medical equipment and in pharmaceuticals and in biosimilars. We already have Celltrion of Korea in Brazil, and we have a huge partnership with Samsung Bioepis, to mention but 2 of them. So we can do a lot in partnership. What must be clear is that we are not looking into it as receiving imports. We want to renew our industry to make it more digital, more green, more sustainable, and more apt to export to the world. So we are not talking as a recipient of imports, but we are talking about investment locally, public-private partnerships. That is something that Koreans normally don't do in their investments abroad. But in this case, it offers a huge opportunity. 200 million plus people, an economy that is growing. I think it is already a great partnership, 65 years of cooperation. Korean industries in Brazil since more than 30 years ago. So I think it's a good way.
One of the most interesting things that I found during the forum is bioethanol.
O Brasil é país que não precisa promover a descarbonização na mobilidade usando o carro elétrico. O Brasil é o único país no mundo que tem uma tecnologia que usa o carro híbrido a etanol, que quando pega um ciclo completo de vida, polui menos que um carro elétrico.
Bioethanol is a type of alcohol that is extracted from starch crops, such as sugarcane or beets and corn. And when you mix this bioethanol and gasoline, it can be used as fuel for automobiles. Ethanol, primarily used in alcoholic drinks, disinfectants, and as a solvent for chemical processes, has highly explosive vapors, so it can also be used as automobile fuel. Bioethanol is made using a process similar to making wine or beer. The starch contained in the raw plant is converted into glucose and then fermented with enzymes to extract ethanol. Brazil has been promoting ethanol since the oil crisis in the mid-1970s to reduce its dependence on oil. And Brazil is a country that produces abundant sugarcane, corn, and ethanol, which are the raw materials for bioethanol.
There are more bioethanol cars than electric cars in Brazil, right?
Oh, certainly.
So are we cooperating in that area?
Bioethanol started in Brazil in 1979. It was a program, you remember that these were the 2 big oil shocks, one in 73-4 and the other in 79. The price of oil skyrocketed. So everybody was trying to save energy, and we developed the ethanol as a biofuel. And from then on, this program had huge success. We make ethanol from sugarcane and from corn, and we have a mandated mix in our gasoline. Even a gasoline car that runs in Brazil has already 27% of ethanol in the gasoline. But we have a flex fuel motor. It is a car whose motor runs both in 100% ethanol, 100% gasoline, or anything in between. So you just go to the station, you calculate, I want 50% of ethanol because I want to help the environment, or the price of ethanol is better, or gasoline, and you do your mix and you can run. The other thing that our panelists said is the hybrid car with electricity generated from ethanol. So you pump your car with ethanol, but it runs on an electric battery. This is already being done in Brazil as a pilot. This obviously can be done with Hyundai, that is the Korean company that is in Brazil. It's the first biggest automotive company in Brazil. And we do have a car designed by Hyundai exclusively for the Brazilian market. It doesn't exist anywhere in the world, which is called the HB20. And this car has a flex motor. Now, Hyundai has announced big investments in Brazil to produce hybrid cars, hybrid ethanol for combustion, electricity is perfect. Then hydrogen cars. We hope perhaps with this model of converting inside the car, you pump ethanol and convert to hydrogen and you have a hydrogen car. And electric.
So the first point that the Deputy Minister mentioned while he explained about NIB was agribusiness.
A missão 1 da nova Indústria Brasil é fortalecer as cadeias agroindustriais para alcançar a soberania alimentar. Possivelmente, o Brasil é um dos países mais competitivos do mundo na produção de alimentos. É um dos países que pode, sem dúvida nenhuma, garantir a soberania alimentar no mundo.
And I know that Brazil is the second largest grain exporter in the world. So what kind of cooperation with Korea is possible in this area?
Agribusiness is very important in Brazil. It would be around, I would say, 30% of our GDP. And yes, you said that we are the second biggest producer. And for certain things, we are the biggest producer. And for many things, we are the first exporter. Korea already imports a lot of poultry from Brazil. A little swine, a little pork, and no beef. Now, let me tell you, our beef is very, very competitive in terms of price. A ton of Brazilian beef sells in the world market for a ton, 1,000 kilos, for $4,500. So $4,500. A ton of American beef sells for $6,700. A ton of Australian beef sells for $5,900. Where does Korea buy the beef?
Australia, US.
From Australia and US.
Yes.
99.9% of the refrigerated beef bought here is from Australia and US, which means that you are paying more for the beef you buy in the supermarket. The beef we sell is industrial beef from lean cattle that is not ranch-fed, but grass-fed. So this lean beef is more used for industry. And this is something that I think we should cooperate more on that. And for that, I hope to be able to help my people that are cattle raisers in Brazil to open the market here. We are in that.
After talking with the ambassador and listening to the discussions at the Korea-Brazil Business Forum, I became curious. How do Korean companies that have already entered Brazil view the Brazilian market? So I decided to visit a Korean company and find out. Now I'm going to visit a Korean company that has entered Brazilian market. I think we could meet a head of overseas sales department and ask him how important Brazil market is to them. So let's go together. This is a company called OneTech. OneTech is a global company specializing in skincare medical devices that researches and develops various products through laser and energy-based original technologies. OneTech's largest overseas sales destination is Brazil. In July, the company announced that it was working to achieve more success in the Brazilian market by forming a partnership with a major Brazilian medical device distributor. OneTech can also be called a diplomat that is representing Korea in the Brazilian market, right?
처음에 시작했을 때는 2017년에 시작했고 제품 첫 판매가 시작된 거는 2019년이었습니다. 또한 이제 코로나 기간에도 판매가 상당히 좋아가지고 코로나 기간에 상당히 높은 성장을 이루었습니다. 브라질은 일단 그 인구수가 2억이 넘는 큰 시장이고요. 미용에 관심이 많아가지고 미용 수요가 상당히 높아서 미국에 이어서 세계 2위로 큰 미용 시장입니다.
얼마 전에 그 해외 매출 1위를 브라질에서 달성하셨다고 들었는데 초기와 지금과 그 한국 제품에 대한 인식 아니면 원택 제품에 대한 인식이 어떤 식으로 달라졌는지도 궁금합니다.
예. 브라질 시장 초기에는 많은 한국 회사들이 시장에 진입을 위해서 노력을 했었는데 이미 이제 그 당시에는 브라질에는 미국산과 유럽산 제품들이 고가의 시장을 형성하고 있고 선점하고 있었고요. 또 중저가 라인은 중국산 제품들, OEM이나 완제품으로 인해 가지고 시장이 많이 포화가 돼 있는 시장이었습니다. 그래서 한국산 제품이 들어갈 수 있는 시장 포션이 적었는데 뭐 한국산 아시다시피 이제 한류라든가 한국산 제품에 대한 이미지가 좋아지면서 한국산 제품에 대해서 이제 고려하게 됐고 특히 저희 제품이 시장에 맞는 합리적인 가격과 한번 시술만 해도 확실하게 효과가 나타날 수 있는 그런 시술 효과를 보여줬고 특히 이제 미용 장비로서 중요한 불량이 없고 부작용이 없는 그런 장비로 인식되면서 시장에서 선풍적인 인기를 끌었습니다.
브라질 시장을 위한 특별한 전략 같은 게 있으신지 궁금해요.
네, 브라질은 아무래도 거리상 상당히 멀리 있고 그래서 초반에 이제 빠른 성과를 내기 위해서 성급하게 그렇게 서두르면은 많이 실패하는 경우가 있고요. 특히 이제 현지에 뭐 장비의 문제라든가 뭐 임상적인 이슈가 있을 때 빠르게 대응을 해줘야 되는데 그런 거를 맞춰가는 기간이 좀 시간이 걸렸습니다. 근데 현재는 현지 파트너와 원활한 그 시스템을 통해 가지고 저희도 브라질 시장을 가장 우선순위로 두고 브라질 대리점에서 가장 우선 인력을 배치해 가지고 이슈가 발생하면 가장 신속하고 적극적으로 대응을 하고 있습니다.
While speaking with the director, I came to believe that Brazil is currently an important market for Korean companies and that it will become an even more important market in the future. What did you feel after watching this week's episode? I felt once again that a country cannot exist alone and can only grow by cooperating with other countries.
경제적으로는 상호 보완적이면서 동반자 관계가 될 수 있다 이렇게 보는 게 제가 브라질에서 그 외교관으로 근무했을 때 90년대, 2000년대 초 이때만 해도 바이오 쪽에 협력 가능하다고 제약 분야라든가 그리고 올려도 관심이 없었어요. 요즘에는 이제 기술적인 분야들도 많이 서로 교류를 해요. 바이오나 지금 요즘에 또 많이 알고 있는 항공 우주 분야, 이노스페이스가 브라질 항공 우주 기지에서 로켓을 발사를 했지 않습니까? 그래서 상호 보완만이 아니라 상호 동반자 관계로 발전할 수 있는 관계다. 이렇게 설명드리겠습니다.
The more we talk, the better it is. I think this forum today, this particular forum today, was a very successful one because you had this huge amount of experts talking about things that they do every day. This is very important because it shows your business people to see their potential because of course it's a two-way road. We can buy things from you, you can buy things from us, you can invest in Brazil, we can make partnerships, we can have public-private partnerships, and I think this kind of forum is perfect for people to realize the opportunities that are out there.
I hope that Korea and Brazil will become true partners in the future and that we can cooperate and exchange in-depth in various fields to overcome the global challenges that lie ahead of us. Until then, diplomats who connect the two countries, let's do our best.
I could continue because obviously we have also the investment in social and economic infrastructure. I think this is the name of the mission. 감사합니다.
감사합니다.
Big hug.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. 감사합니다.
감사합니다.